fellow guitarists. It's been a long time. Can you hear me? So my name's Josh, and I haven't done a live in such a long time. Actually, I haven't uploaded in almost 2 years. There's a lot of reasons, but I guess we can discuss that today if anyone's interested. Otherwise, I'm just here to explain sort of what I've been up to for a couple of years, have a jam, and of course, feel free to ask me any questions about anything. I'm in my room right now where I have all my guitars and stuff. So I'm playing my trusty guitar, classical, that you've probably seen me play many times through the years. And back there is my collection of electric guitars. And behind me is my pretty mighty orange amp. But why don't I just start with song, or with a piece? So if anyone out there can guess it, write it in the comments. Oh yeah, so make sure you leave your name and everything, because of course I don't know who's watching. Oh, Ahmad, how are you, bro? Where are you from? So yeah, try and guess this piece. Name and composer. 안녕하세요. You have to guess. give you a clue. It's from South America. So if you've just joined, welcome to NBN Guitar. And I should offer a big thanks to you all for tuning in today, and a formal apology for being away from the channel for so very long. But welcome to everybody. I can see the chats are rolling in. Ahmad, thanks for answering that. So you're from Kurdistan. Awesome, thanks. And glad you learned Amelie from me. That's actually one of the most popular videos that I've ever uploaded to YouTube. I had no idea it was so popular, or it would become so popular. Great composer. Who else do we have? Korea, who do we have there? Kim Han. See? Anyway, 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 우리 집사람은 한국 분이에요. Oh, awesome. Julian, ngafare. Kia ora. Thanks for tuning in. And Portugal, Antonio. Buenos dias. Oh, there's all sorts of people. Michael from North Carolina, USA. How's it going, man? And yes, you are absolutely correct. Valse Opus number 4. Great piece. So it's the one that starts off like that. If we let's have a look at that piece while we're on it. So it's Valse Opus 4 by Agustin Barrios. If you're not too familiar with who he is or who he was probably one of the most famous South American composers for guitar. He's passed away, of course. However, him along with, let's say, Antonio Lauro, right up there in terms of popular and beautiful classical guitar music from South America. I have quite a few of his other pieces on the channel. The Dunza, what's it called? I can't quite remember the name, but I've uploaded a few Barrios pieces. Incredible composer. He did the very famous tremolo. That one, Un sueño en la floresta. Yeah, so this one is a classic example of a waltz. So it's got that, you can hear the waltz coming in after the brief introductory chords. And then he just repeats that down an octave. A little run. So So I'm sure some of you have obviously tuned in to learn something about the classical guitar. Yeah, so if we're taking that from let's just analyze what I'm doing there. So here, I make sure I give it a little bit of vibrato, which is vibrato is just shaking the string like that. If I don't give it vibrato, it sounds a little bit dead. It's still nice. But if I give it that vibrato, just makes it sound a little bit better. And then I pick all those notes together, and then I spread the next chord. So if you see my right hand, I'm doing a little arpeggio there. Then I repeat that idea, pick them all together, and then spread. And I think in that little bit there, a beautiful example of a descending chromatic bass line. So I think it's nice to kind of draw attention to that. So I'm doing apoyando with the thumb, just to give it a little bit more. And then spread the last, the D7 chord. And then it moves into the, which is where you really hear the waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just on the G major chord with inversions. So that bit there, if you watch John Williams play this piece, I think he plays it live on a TV studio show back in it might have been the 70s or the 80s. You can hear he's playing that line rubato or rubato, so he's taking it sort of easy in here, and then he speeds this bit up. It's not that noticeable. You don't really feel what he's doing because it just comes across so nicely, but he speeds it up and then he slows it down on the last two notes. Remember, the idea of rubato is to steal time. So you might slow a little bit down and then speed up, so that, let's say you do that over 2 bars. It still takes the same time to play those 2 bars, but you've slowed a bit down and you've sped a bit up so that you come out at the other end at the same time, or vice versa. You speed a bit up and then you slow it down, as John Williams does with that ascending chromatic line. So you got that going from the B all the way up to the E chromatically. And he just hangs there a little bit. Yes, so feel free to ask me any questions there. Louis, my old guitar teacher published a book of Barrios pieces. He was kind of a Barrios scholar. Wow, that's really cool. Where did he publish it? I guess it must be available online. Yeah, there's quite a few good volumes of Barrios's works, and actually John Williams, I think, was responsible for giving Barrios's music the true recognition that it deserved. There's a lot of controversy if you write into classical guitar history and stuff, especially surrounding Andre Segovia. There's a little bit of history there saying that they met, Andre Segovia and Agustin Barrios, but for Segovia never played his works. I don't know. You can have a little look about it, read up on it, and draw your own conclusions. I guess the only people that really know the truth are Segovia and Barrios. Oh, Richard Stover. Yes, Michael, I do. So one of the reasons I really wanted to do this live, apart from catching up with everybody, was to just explain why I've been away from uploading for so long. I guess one of the big things is that it's really hard to do. especially because I like to do things really well. And as some of you know, if you've ever used any of my transcriptions or you've gone across and visited the website, you'll see that I have a lot of PDFs available, the transcriptions that generally match exactly what I play. And it's a huge amount of work to actually create a transcription, because I create the transcriptions using Guitar Pro 7. I do the fingering for both hands, and it's a really laborious process. And then to get them up onto the website, I have to turn them into PDFs and then use a different software to create the actual book that I put online. And then I have to create all the pages in the website, and it's actually huge. I've never sort of sat down and thought, gee, how many hours is it to transcribe a piece, do all that work, and then actually make it available so that people can see it. And that doesn't even include making the videos. As most of you are familiar, I don't cut my videos, so I play the pieces right through from beginning to end with no stops, no tricky editing or anything. So I have to I try to nail it right through, which is quite difficult, really. Most times people do things in the studio and they have a chance to cut and edit, and what you hear is absolutely perfect usually, and that's the result. Oh, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that can play things absolutely flawless, but usually they'll go into the studio and they'll spend hours playing one piece, and then the engineers will cut it all up, and you just get this seamless, flawless execution or recording. So I would try my best to do that at home, but just in one take. And you'll notice that when you see my playthroughs, they're just one take. There's no changing camera angles or anything like that. Yeah, so that takes ages. Sometimes I nail it pretty quickly, and other times it's just a grind. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons. Another reason is I have another business going, and when COVID kicked in March of 2020 in New Zealand, anyway, that's when COVID really started to come to prominence and affect people's lives here. My other business, which is actually Amazon FBA, really started to take off. It was doing pretty well before that, but I still had time to upload videos and that. And then COVID kicked in, and it just so happened that the products we were selling or are selling, they just started to go off. It was when I say go off, that's a Kiwi slang. It started to go even better, and that business just took up so much of my time. And it's not like I was working on it all the time, but my mind was sort of working on it all the time. So even if I was just lying down, relaxing and trying to watch some TV or do some gardening or something like that, my mind was just constantly thinking about that business, and I just couldn't commit to the guitar, only just for my own personal enjoyment. And that's why I think the last video that I remember uploading was just a live stream like this, going over Recuerdos de la Alhambra with everybody. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't been uploading. And of course, COVID has sort of thrown a spanner in the works. New Zealand, as some of you may know, has handled it pretty well, but other countries haven't. But it's been pretty good here. And also, my wife and I bought a home, and yeah, buying a home, there's a little bit of a headache. I'd never owned a home before, so just learning how to take care of it and run it properly has been a little bit of a mission. Musicians can be quite neglectful of things at times, and yeah, it's a big property too. When I say big property, it's quite a lot of land. It's 1/2 hectare. So for those of you in America, or imperial system, it's about 1.2 acres, something like that. So it requires quite a lot of upkeep, mowing lawns and gardening and all that kind of thing. Yeah, so quite a bit has happened actually since I've been here, since I've been back live on YouTube. But my intention is to make more lessons, absolutely. I've got a few more systems in place for our Amazon FBA business, and so I think I can devote a lot more time back to the guitar and back to the community that seems to have missed me a bit. I must say I have managed to keep up with most of the comments that keep coming in. And it's wonderful to know that, like, even here, we've still got a few people watching, even though I've been absent for so long. So once again, I thank you all for tuning in. It's mind-blowing, actually, that people still care about what I'm up to and still appreciate the lessons that I did. La Campanella, aesthetic. Denny L. Bob, hey, dude. La Campanella. I don't know if I'm not sure if I know that one. Give me a chance to have a check. Good old Google. Excuse me for a moment. La Campanella. I'm sure I've heard of it before. Is that who wrote that? Aesthetic? Can you tell me who wrote that or who composed that? Oh, good one, Denny. From Instagram. Ooh, played on violin. Ooh, that sounds a bit tricky. Oh, you're welcome, Antonio. Welcome. Actually, I love teaching. I don't know if I've explained anything, but you know, this video is also a chance for a heart-to-heart. So if you want to ask me any questions, please do. I used to be a school teacher a long time ago. I taught at several high schools here in New Zealand for years. So I'm very familiar with teaching. And I used to teach my very dear cousin, who's a wonderful guitar player. Well, he taught me as well, so it's not like it was all one way. So, but he really liked classical guitar, but he'd never been exposed to teaching the way that I had, or the way that I was taught by my teacher. So I was using all my fingers, you know, well, not really the little one, but I was using all my fingers, but he would only just use thumb and his index finger. But I labored with him, you know, I was teaching him everything, like how I teach on the channel here. I teach every little note, and I don't care if you read music or not. That's not the point. Yeah, so I've been teaching for ages, and I'm patient, I suppose. Like, I know there's a lot of classical guitarists out there, and they swear black and blue that you've got to read music if you want to play classical guitar. And I get it. I get why they say that. It's because if you can read music, you can be independent for a start. You don't need someone like me to teach you. I might be able to show you some technique and stuff, but I won't need to show you the notes and everything. You'll know where they all are. But there's so many guitarists out there that are great guitar players, but they can't read music. And so that whole realm or that whole repertoire of classical guitar is basically off limits because they can't read the notes. And a lot of tabs out there, you know, they're kind of dodgy. Yeah, so I thought, man, I think I want to teach, and I want to teach via YouTube how I used to teach my cousin, which was one note at a time and just going through it like that. Yeah, so that's how I sort of started on the channel. That was one of the reasons I started. It's just I was a full-time musician back then. I think I was living in China and performing in China when I started this channel. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to catch up with the chat. Oh, from the Philippines. What do we have? Ryan Dawn. Kamusta? I love chicken adobo and nilagang baboy. I used to eat a lot of that when I lived in Bahrain. Awesome, awesome. Oh, it's so nice hearing where everybody's from. It's truly international audience. We've got me from New Zealand. We've got Julian, who's also from New Zealand but living in Perth. Michael from North Carolina in the States. We've got someone from Korea, Kurdistan, Portugal. Oh, all over the place. Amazing, amazing. I'm so glad that we've got so many people here watching. Juan Pablo Olivares Robles. Welcome, welcome. Chile. Hey, man, I used to be in a band with a dude from Chile. His name was Carlos Miranda. Good guitar player, too. I think he was born in Chile, but he came to New Zealand when he was really young. And so he sounds like a Kiwi when you talk to him, but when he busts out into Spanish, you wouldn't think he'd lived anywhere except Chile. Yeah, but thanks everyone. Once again, if you're just chiming in, please let me know where you're watching from. It's always cool to see, there's people from all over the place watch the channel. Yeah, so if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing, you can always head across to my website, which is nbnguitar.com. Or you can catch me at the same place on Facebook, NBN Guitar, and also Instagram. Hey, we've got England in the house as well. Awesome, awesome. Hey, it's nice to be back, Phil. I'll tell you that, it is. I've actually missed this interaction. Because of lockdown and everything, I guess maybe the whole world's changed and a lot of people are just staying home and laying low. And I think some of us might be missing that nice social connection, and it's cool to be able to just jump on live. It's actually the first live I've done from my home, my new home. All the previous lives you saw me doing, I think I was doing them from China. Oh, not lives, videos uploads from China and I think Africa. Yeah, Africa. And New Zealand from my mum's house. And then, about a year and a half ago, my wife and I bought this home that we're in right now. It's lovely too. It's good to have a home. Lucky. South Alabama. Yeah. So what guitars are you guys all playing? I don't think the people that showed up first, I sort of gave them a little look at my electrics back there, but it's about classical guitar, but I can always show you those. So those are my guitars there. This one here, this yellow one's a Greg Bennett. The next John Mayer Silver Skies. That one's an Ibanez RG8527Z 7-string. Oh, and a bit further over there, that one, if any of you have seen my November Rain video, that's probably the most popular video I have on YouTube. I think it's coming up to 5 million views now. I recorded it on that guitar, and it's absolutely phenomenal. Probably the best acoustic guitar I think I've ever heard. And I'm not just saying that because it's mine. Actually, yes, I am. But seriously, that guitar is so good. And I got it for a steal. I only paid about 2,000 New Zealand dollars for it. To American dollars, it's probably about 1,400 USD for that guitar, and you can't even get them now. And they were sort of twice that price when they came out. So I was really lucky to get that. And the guy that bought it must have been a bit of a guitar player because he had it all worked. I think he took it to a luthier, and the luthier lowered the action. And it's so good to play. It's like a dream. It plays almost like an electric guitar. The action's nice and low, but it doesn't really buzz. Oh, Alhambra. Nice. You know what? I love the Alhambra guitars. I had a chance to play an Alhambra Luthier Rio guitar many, many years ago up at Lewis Eady in Auckland. Lewis Eady is a very well-known, very respected musical instrument shop in Auckland, New Zealand. And I had a chance to play one. I think it was about 7,000 or 8,000 New Zealand dollars back then. I think we could be going back 20 years or so. And that guitar, it was amazing. One of the nicest classical guitars I've ever heard. Unfortunately, back then I didn't have much money, so I just had to put it back on the guitar stand, and I couldn't get it. But if I had have had 8,000 New Zealand dollars, I would have bought that thing straight away. It was beautiful. So the Alhambra guitars that I've experienced are absolutely fantastic and wonderful value for money. Muhana Hamid, where are you watching from? Yeah, it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. Too long. I'll try to make sure it's not nearly 2 years for the next one. Yeah, so I'll get back to this piece, the Waltz by Barrios. Oh, So when you're doing a waltz, sometimes it's a good idea not to make the in-between notes too loud. This section here, which I call it the B section. There, of course, in a waltz, there's always beat 2 and 3, which are lower in strength. So it's usually 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. So if we play that, I'll take out all the fancy bits and just play it simply. You don't want to make those notes too loud. They should be in the background of it. So instead of this, it sounds nicer if you make those notes that are occurring on beat 2 and 3 softer. That kind of thing. If I play it all the same volume, it gets a bit washy. It gets, the melody is lost, and the feel of the waltz is also lost. Do you understand what I mean? I actually learned that from Andre de Vitis. If you watch my video of, what's that piece? Capriccio Árabe. So I've got, I think it's 3 videos or 4, it could be more, of me playing that and also teaching it. And then I added a couple of videos because I got a masterclass, an online video masterclass with an incredible guitar player called Andre de Vitis. And he explained to me the importance of pulling some notes back and letting others shine. And so, yeah, that's that section there. So I'm really bringing out that melody note on the D string. And the other notes are tucked underneath, so to speak. So now let's take a look at that little cadence that I just did. So a cadence is like the end of a sentence or a musical phrase. So so it's just coming up. The cadence is coming up now. So there, I think you can pull back and you can let that cadence breathe. So we're just going to the 5. There, there's actually been a slight key change there, so it's shifted to D, which is the dominant from the original key, which is G. So it's gone to the dominant, and then I like to spread that last chord, and then I move I try to go down to the ponticello for the next section. Ponticello is just picking near that bridge. So the thing that Barrios is doing there, he's kind of to the D string. So it's we can bring that out. I really like to let all these notes ring over each other on the A7 chord, instead of picking it, say. It's so nice if you let them all ring like that. I call it cascading. Everything just starts ringing over everything else, and it just sounds so full. And then you're positioned nicely for a change to the guide finger 3. Remember, so I'll be throwing some little technical tips in here. Guide finger is when you have the same finger on the same string moving. So they can really help with position shifts. So that particular passage, a lot of guitarists like to split those notes. So they play the bass note, and then just after, they play that melody note, the F sharp. You hear that? I just hit that bass note, and then I hit that just after, instead of this. John Williams actually, in this section, he plays those bass notes with his thumb, like this. So he's strumming across the strings. Like that. I don't really play like that. I kind of like to do my own thing. I just try to make this one play the melody notes on the D string a bit louder. Cadence. And then one thing that I should point out, when I'm doing that cadence, don't spread all the chords. So where are we? Listen to this. A lot of guitarists, sometimes they overuse that arpeggio effect. You know? I'm exaggerating it there. In practice, or in performance, it usually sounds like this. I would say save that for the very last chord. So play all the others together in blocks and spread this last chord. That's from a performance perspective. I usually, when I'm uploading the lessons that I used to upload, I used to be more sort of concerned with just teaching you the notes, like your finger goes there, your finger goes there. Often at the expense of the interpretative aspect of a classical guitar piece, or any piece of music for that matter, whether it's vocal or from any genre, it doesn't matter. There's always an interpretative component to the performance. And yeah, if I did that for every single video, that'd be hours and hours long. If you go to high level guitar lessons, they're not really even teaching you technique anymore. They're teaching you how to interpret stuff and how to read chord progressions and checking your ornamentation that it matches the time period of the music that you're performing, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so I do regret that, actually. It's just one of those things that happens. But all of you that are tuned in now, you're getting that for this piece. So yeah, if there's anything else you want me to cover, let's see. Oh, Grant Unsworth, hey, thanks, man. It's good to be back. So, what pieces have you learned from me? So, I've taught you all the classical music you know. Well, that's cool, man. I mean, I love classical guitar, obviously. And when I hear guys like you, I get feedback from people like you, players like you, really just makes me feel cool. That's awesome. Mohammed, Hamid. Yeah, so where are you from, man? Muhana? Just recently learned how to play Canarios. Oh, beautiful piece, isn't it? Da 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 da. Awesome. I first heard that there was a famous Kiwi guitarist, New Zealand classical guitarist called Matthew Marshall, and he was playing it as part of a concerto. The is it Villa-Lobos? No, the Rodrigo Fantasia para un gentle hombre. No, I can't quite remember. Jeez, my memory. But that's where I first heard that. I think the Canarios was borrowed by Rodrigo, and it formed the basis of a large part of that concerto. Yeah, nice. A little bit rusty on that. Great piece. Gaspar Sanz, I think, was the composer for that. Mohana, I'm glad. I'm glad. Honestly, another one of the reasons I started this channel was so that I could reach, or the classical guitar could reach people that live in, areas maybe where there's no classical guitar teacher or something like that, but you've got access to YouTube. That was a big driver for me, just to spread the classical guitar. And I thought, well, if you haven't got access to a guitar teacher where you live, there's a good chance that you don't even have access to a music teacher. And so, that was a big driver, actually, to reach people and get the classical guitar out into, let's say, more remote areas. Because actually, I feel that because even though New Zealand is a progressive country, and that where I lived when I was growing up was very remote, and there were no classical guitar teachers where I lived, that's for sure. There probably weren't any for, I don't know, maybe a couple of 100 kilometers, possibly. And there was certainly no way I was going to get out and have lessons with them. It was just too far, too expensive. Yeah, so I feel that, I haven't forgotten what it was like to sort of be all alone and trying to learn the classical guitar and just struggling away. And that was well before YouTube or anything online. That was way back in the 80s and early 90s when the internet was, nascent, I think. So, yeah. Oh, you're from Saudi Arabia. Man, I used to live right next door to Saudi. Kaif halak? Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I used to live in Bahrain for nearly 2 years, and Dubai for about the same 2 years, and I also spent a year in Oman. So I'm pretty familiar with the Middle East. Well, at least that part of the Middle East, the GDC. Yeah, Oman. I've been to Oman 3 times, Dubai more times than I can remember, and Bahrain quite a few times. Yeah. It's a cool part of the world. A lot of my friends are still out there, actually, in Dubai. They're still performing all the time. Excuse me, I'm just going to have some iced coffee. Getting a bit thirsty, talking a lot. I'm just going to check some more of these comments that are rolling in. Branko Stanojevic. Where are you from, man? Sounds kind of like, I don't know, Eastern Europe somewhere. Croatia, Yugoslavia, something like that. If you're just tuning in, let me know where you are. I'm in New Zealand, and we've got people from all over the world tuning in. So I've been covering just some interpretative stuff from Barrios, the Valse Opus 8, number 4, which is that famous. That piece there. So let's move into the end section, which is actually quite tricky. So that bit there, how do you interpret that? I reckon you just give it heaps. What I mean by give it heaps is just go full power. You know, really just dig in, because it's really setting up for the grand finale. That's what that is. So you're coming out of it. Usually it's, but because we're going into the end, or let's say the cadenza or the coda, instead of going back to there, it's going to the 7th. So it's sort of like, yes, walaikum assalam. Shukran. Just in case you're wondering, I picked up a lot of languages because I've lived in so many countries playing the guitar. Actually, yeah, I just learned. I'm not fluent in any of them really, but I can say hello and ask for the most important thing, which is food, so I don't starve to death. So let's have a look at some technique in there. So obviously you can see a lot of chords. There's a lot of chords going on in there, and they are boom, boom, boom. They're happening right after one another. Much time to breathe at all in that passage, so you better nail it. And I think one of the things, if you're struggling with chords, you got to find ways to get to them. So with this one, this one's not too bad, going from the inverted G7. So that's not too bad either. So in this one, leave this third finger on. So I'm going to pivot around this finger. So what I know a lot of players do, they'd take their whole hand off like that, but don't. Just shift around this third finger here, this one. See, I didn't lift it off; it stayed there. Now there's a huge leap here, and it happens so quickly that I think you can use this open D string as an opportunity to shift your hand into position. So if we go through there, so when I play that, I start shifting. Don't sort of wait. Then, oh gee, I've got to get there. Shift while that open D is playing, and then you can get up there. So it means you've got to cut this chord off a little bit early, but you know, the piece is really moving. The tempo is up at that time. It's full of energy, and no one's going to miss it. So don't wait till the last. That's what I'm saying. Just move early while you're still doing this D. You can hear it cuts off instead of. It's just too tricky. There might be some excellent guitarists that can get there and hold that to the end and then they're straight into that one, but I can't. So I cut it a little bit short. I sacrifice how long I should hold it just so that I can get to this chord earlier. And every guitarist I've watched on YouTube, even the best, they do the same thing. And here you can pivot, you can guide finger that one. See there? I leave this finger on, the fourth finger. And I'm pivoting, you know, so where are we? So there I'm pivoting around the second finger. Pivot. And now I'm going to pivot around this finger. And here, kind of unusual, I use my fourth finger to bar all three. So, most guitarists I see do that. But I think, you know, it's okay to bar like that. Yeah, so that's that little cadenza. Oops. And into the final part. And I think when we hit that D, you should deaden the other notes so that it just sits out there all by itself. So I'm not letting those other notes ring. Otherwise it would sound like this. It's not bad per se to hear this open D still ringing because it does belong to the chord. But for me, I just think I like to deaden the others and just have that sitting there all alone. And then you've got the final run. Every guitarist I've heard rushes that last bit. I think they're just so caught up in it, or it's like a finale, and so some of them are nearly playing it twice as fast as it should be played. So to give you an example, it's where are we? What you've got is a bunch of guitarists, they're all playing it at the same speed as me. And then for some reason, they really rush that last bit. I don't know, that's up to you. It seems cool because, you know, you're going fast and wow. But if you're trying to play it in the true spirit of the piece, you shouldn't actually play it that quick. You should be playing it in tempo with how the rest of the piece was. Not too quick, but I mean, it's up to you. It's just one bar, so what does it matter, really? Oh, Bao Fan. Hey, man. Where are you from? Is that Vietnam? Apologies if I'm wrong. It sort of sounds like a Vietnamese name. I remember you commented on my post alerting people to this. So it's nice to be back, and it's nice to see you here today. Antonio Jr. I'm essentially a rock guitarist. Lately, I've started to develop an interest in classical guitar. Awesome. Oh, Adelita. Beautiful piece. Adelita. I haven't played this in ages. Something like that. Lovely. And then it shifts to the tonic major, I think. I can't remember. But it's absolutely lovely, isn't it? Great piece of music, Terega. I'm sure everyone here watching right now loves Terega. And if you don't, get out. So from my perspective, what piece do I recommend to start? Ooh, well, I mean, I don't know you, Antonio. I've never seen you play. Don't know what kind of level you're at. But if you're a decent rock guitarist, you can probably start, you know, not at the very beginning of the classical repertoire. It would probably depend a lot on how well developed your right hand technique is. That's probably what, if there's any impediment to your classical guitar learning, it will be the right hand. That's usually where, or your picking hand, that's usually where most guitarists that are transitioning from rock or metal or genres like that, blues, where they primarily use a pick. Good old pick. They struggle tend to using all your fingers, where past you've been using that. So I can't really accurately say, Antonio, where you should start or what piece is a good piece for you. You'd kind of have to gauge that yourself. If you're doing really well with Adelita, then depending on how your right hand is, you could tackle any of the studies by Giuliani, Saw, Dionisio Aguado, those types of players. You know, we're going back a couple of 100 years for those guys, but honestly, their studies are still the rudiments or form the foundation of a good, solid classical guitar technique. You can't go wrong with those guys, with their studies. Giuliani, excuse me, I've got a dry throat. I haven't talked this much, I don't know, since how long? Yeah, so head back to those guys, you know, the early studies that they did. I uploaded all 100 of Mauro Giuliani's exercises for the right hand. Oh, 120, sorry. All 120, they're on my channel. So if your right hand's lacking, go and do those. Even when I went to university to study classical guitar with William Bauer, I'd already been playing for about 4 years at that time, 5 years, and he got me back onto those. I'd never seen them before. And he said, oh, you know, Josh, your right hand has a few issues. And so he got me back onto the Giuliani, or he got me onto the 120 exercises by Giuliani for the right hand. And he was particularly trying to teach me balance and control between the fingers. So, yeah, that was really good. Some of the studies or the etudes by Villa-Lobos are also fantastic, but they're a lot more advanced. But those are well worth looking at if you think you're up to the challenge. Oscar Lopez. Yes, I'm always trying to learn new stuff. Since I went live, I've basically been breaking down Valse Opus 8 number 4 by Agustin Barrios. But I've also I have been working on this lovely piece, and I think I posted it on my website or Facebook or something. So yeah, while I'm at it, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram. It's NBN Guitar, and you can go over to my website. I'm going to be a lot more active now. Yeah, so if you want to keep track of what I'm up to, don't just use YouTube. You can follow me on NBN Guitar, Facebook, and Instagram. This piece. So here's the challenge. See if you can tell me what the name is and who the composer is. Woohoo! Got through it. Does anyone out there know what that piece is called? I'll give you a hint. Julian Bream is playing it on the train and on a boat. In a really famous documentary he did on Spanish guitar back in the 70s or 80s. You know, the crazy thing with Julian Bream, I thought, he always looked the same age. What do you guys reckon? Yeah, so I'll give you a little moment. I'm going to have a little rest and see if you can tell me what that piece was. I guess if you're just tuning in, you wouldn't have heard me play it. But I'll give you what that piece was. I guess if you're just tuning in, you wouldn't have heard me play it. But I'll give you a clue. It's the same composer that wrote Asturias or Leyenda. Clue. It's the same composer that wrote Asturias or Leyenda. Okay. 3, 2, 1. One of my favorites, and of course, played by probably my favorite classical guitarist, Julian Bream, who actually, he passed away about a year and a half ago. I wrote a bit of a blog, a nice eulogy, which was on my website. I posted it on my website. I think that was the last time I posted anything on my website, actually, was when Julian Bream passed away. A huge loss for the classical guitar world. However, he left a massive legacy, in lexicon. Arguably one of the greatest contributors to classical guitar that there has ever been, and also to the lute, also to the Baroque lute. And I had the good fortune of seeing Julian Bream perform live in a city here in New Zealand called Napier back in 1988. So unfortunately, back then I didn't really understand the classical guitar, so I had no idea what he was playing. I just saw this guy on stage and he was playing this weird ass music that I'd never heard before. But I wish I could wind back the clock and view him as an adult, or listen to him as an adult, and with more experience. Yeah, it's kind of like giving a kid a Ferrari and they don't know what they've got, and then they just go and crash it, and they have no idea what they had in their hands. And then they'd grow up 15, 20 years later and think, oh, why did I do that? But yeah, so let me all know where you're from. Oscar, where are you from? Ooh, I thought my guitar had gone out of tune. Been having problems with the third string, the G string, for about a year. I've got to send my guitar to a luthier, I think. Keeps going out of tune. Yeah, so Cadiz starts, it's just an A chord. And a little reverse kind of arpeggio run. Really nice. It's just, I love this piece. It's just so full of life. It's got that joie de vivre. And nice little staccato, punchy little bass lines there. Yeah. This sort of. I mean, who couldn't like that? Just lovely stuff. Oh, California. Awesome. Awesome. The Amazon FBA business that I run, we ship a lot of products out there to California, to all the big Amazon fulfillment centers there, LAX 9 and ONT 8. I haven't had the good fortune to visit the United States, but man, I'm telling you, it's on my list, especially California. My wife and I were just talking about moving there. Yeah, moving to California. Looks like, oh man, it looks like one of the nicest places on earth, honestly. So how long have you lived out there, Oscar? Derek Zhang, 你是中国人吧? I'm just guessing by your last name. 你的名字? No, I don't actually. I don't play guitar full time anymore. I think I stopped. Oh, I stopped in the middle of 2018 playing guitar full time. My last stint, I suppose, as a full-time guitarist ended in July 2018. That's when my wife and I came back from a 1-year contract in a very small African country called Djibouti. And I was very active as a guitarist then. I was playing 6 nights a week in the Kempinski Palace Hotel in Djibouti. And I was also very active on YouTube then. That's when my channel grew the most, I think, was around 2018, 2017, 2018. And the channel was just going. And well, I was very active on it then. But yeah, so 我会说一点中文，一点。Yeah, I will, man. I will consider moving to California. Yeah, like, I mean, for those of you that tuned in earlier, I was explaining why I don't really, or why I haven't been that active, or why I haven't been active at all, really, on the channel. And it's because of our other business that got really busy at the beginning of COVID, around March 2020. And I just haven't had the mental capacity really to devote as much time to uploading videos. That's why I was explaining to the people that jumped on really early in this live stream that it's such a mental task to upload videos to YouTube, especially at the quality that I want, because I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want to make sure when you or anybody watches one of my videos, it's fairly quick, to the point, and with very few mistakes, if any. And that's a huge task, and so is transcribing everything. I mentioned I use Guitar Pro 7. If any of you have ever seen any of my tabs or my music notation, I use Guitar Pro 6, and then when Guitar Pro 7 came out, I started using that. And it's a massive job. Just doing a transcription is huge, and then I need to convert those to JPEG or PNGs, and then I need to edit them a little bit further to make it into a full PDF, because they're all separate sheets, and so you need to bring them all together. I need to upload that to my website, and then I need to create the page on my website and everything that goes with it, all the links to social media, and it's a massive, massive job, a massive undertaking. And as I mentioned, I just haven't had the mental energy to run our other Amazon FBA business and upload to the guitar. But however, as I mentioned, I'm getting a little bit more time on my hands, and I'm hoping to come back to the channel. And if not uploading regularly, I'm going to try to go live a lot more often, and just interact with everybody. It's quite nice. And I'll probably try to choose a time that's better for everyone. I just chose this time because it's quite nice for me. It's a Sunday afternoon. However, I do realize that most people are not anywhere near New Zealand's time. Especially most of the viewers are out in the United States and United Kingdom. So I'll try to choose a different time. Just reading some of the comments. Oh, Chopin Opus 9, number 2, otherwise known as Nocturne in E flat. What a piece. I've got to tell you, you all need to go and watch Ali Arango playing that. Hands down, the best version of that piece on classical guitar in the world. So if you have D in E flat major by Chopin, boom, there it is. Trust me, you'll love it. Ali Arango, oh man, he's such an amazing player. Just, there's great players, and then there's greater players, and for me, he's right up in that. It's just a pleasure to listen to, and his transcriptions are astonishing. Hey, been playing for 3 years and feel like I've hit a stump when it comes to progress with the classical guitar. What would I recommend to make genuine progress with technique and repertoire? That's a really good question, Ray. Where are you asking me from? So which country or which town and which country are you in right now? It's always nice to share so we can all get to know each other, I think. Okay. Well, for a start, hitting a plateau is normal. So don't think it's abnormal, or like you're the only person going through it or has ever experienced a plateau. Everyone experiences a plateau at some point. And I know it's so mentally frustrating sometimes. And you think, you're practicing and practicing and practicing. You're thinking, man, sometimes you think you're getting worse. You put in like 10 hours and I put in 10 hours and you're making more mistakes than ever. Or you're forgetting pieces and before you would have remembered it so easily. And it's really difficult to pinpoint exactly what it is. Sometimes it's what else is going on in your life. You got to look at guitar isn't sort of something that's just all on its own. It's really related to how life, factors of life, things that are happening recently, or I don't know, or there's all sorts of stuff that can contribute to you plateauing. Believe it or not, sometimes it's nice to just leave the guitar. don't even play it. Don't even look at it. You know, like when you've just had a fight with someone that's close to you or something, you don't even want to look at them. Like, no, it's best that I just don't look. Just try that as well if you haven't already. Just yeah, just take a break. Go and do something else. If you're into mountain biking or hunting or fishing, something like that, just go and do something else, and then come back to the guitar a little bit later. And quite often, you'll find that that break is exactly what you needed. And then you just jump back on the guitar and like, oh, I missed you. And you make a lot of progress. It's difficult to say though. Maybe if you can give me a little more background as to why you think you're plateauing, it could help. Los Angeles. You're not the only person from Los Angeles, I think. California. Michelle, is that how I say your name? Or Michael? A tutorial for Jose Luis Merlin evocation is missing. I didn't think I know that piece at all. Maybe I do. Oh, Guadalajara, Mexico. Viva la Mexico. I just watched a video on YouTube by Ines Yilmaiza. He does a lot of luxury houses and that. And he did a beautiful place in Mexico, right by the Pacific Ocean. Oh, was it the Pacific? Yeah. Beautiful. Oh man, beautiful. Yeah. I think I'd get really fat if I went to Mexico. Looks like you got a lot of food down there. Yeah, so if we're looking at, let's just do a little bit more jamming. If you have any other questions, please ask and just write them down in the chat. So what I was saying before, on a lot of the videos I've uploaded to YouTube, I don't have time to talk about interpretation, really, because I'm just trying to teach you the notes. So if we're looking at some interpretation, let's take this little passage from Cadiz by Albéniz. We've got this lovely little bassline movement in basically in A minor. It's all one chord. It sounds like a lot's going on, but it's just. You could think of that as like a modified, an altered E chord. Like a raised fifth. The idea there is to bring that to prominence. How do you do that? Give more energy to your thumb. Because you don't want these notes, these accompanying notes, overpowering it. They should be there, but they shouldn't be taking the limelight. They should be at the background, and this is what you want to hear. Okay? And you can even do a little, even though there's a lot going on, it seems like you can do a little crescendo and then pull back. Back to quiet. You can also change your positioning. So I'll just get into this. So we're moving from a natural position to ponticello. So we've got that little crescendo. Pull back. Then you can do the same thing when you go to the. Just getting a nice tonal variation. If you play it all at the same volume and you're not really messing around with the tone or changing the tones, it can sound a little bit boring like this. It sounds okay because there's a lot going on, which is kind of action in itself. But if you can breathe a little bit more life into it, it just takes it to another level. Like start soft, get real loud. Bring it back. Change the tone. That kind of thing. That's a real nice effect. If you don't know what I'm doing, I'm resting my palm over there, like. And even there, I like to play with the volume or the dynamics. A little crescendo. And then nice and calm. So I just got to remember that chord. In there, I think it's nice to just really slow down and just let that breathe, because it's been so intense up until that point. There's so much going on. Just breathe. Just let it all sort of go out. And then come back in with the fire. Yeah. It's just some interpretative ideas. Of course, it's all subjective. That's what interpretation is. It's just you trying to breathe what you think is appropriate into the piece while staying true to the piece and trying to interpret the composer's intentions with your own life experiences and your education. Hey, Ray, I'm currently a first-year college student, and the latest piece that you're studying is Yamor. Oh, from Andrew York. Oof. What a composer, what a player. I've noticed I can only dedicate it about 5 hours a week to studying. This makes the limited time that I have to play seem like I don't make meaningful progress anymore. How do you recommend balancing your life and practicing? That's a really good question, Ray. How do you do that? So you're studying first year. I guess you're doing a bachelor degree in Los Angeles. Sometimes something has to give. That's just the way life is. It may be that your guitar just has to take a back seat for a while, and you just accept it. It's all good. Just like, oh well, my life circumstances has changed. That's what I was asking you before. What's going on in your life? It may be nothing to do with the guitar. Sometimes it's people that are studying the guitar. Like, let's say, for example, you're at university and you were studying guitar. That's what you were doing. It's a little different. Uh, but I would imagine you just finished your year of high school. I don't know. I'm just assuming here. I don't know how old you are or anything, but just I'm assuming because you've gone into your first year at college that you could be around 18 or 19 years old. And up until this point, you might have lived at home and you were just at school and things weren't so important as they are now. Now that you're at university, you got your degree to think about. I know that's not cheap once you go to university in America. From what I know, it's really expensive to study at that level in the States. So you probably got that sort of hanging over you. Uh, I don't know. I have to assume a lot, Ray, because I'm not there, and I don't know you, and we're not talking face to face. But bringing back to your question, maybe you just have to be happy with 5 hours and maybe just don't have unrealistic expectations that you're going to make as much progress as you've made in your previous years when you were at high school or when you weren't at university, because it's different. It's like when people really love the guitar or really love music when they're at high school, and then life kicks in and they get a job and then they get married and then they have children and they get a dog and the bills start piling up, and then suddenly the guitar gets put in the background or it gets sold and they look back and they regret it. It could be that you're just in the early stage of that. It's just guitars, just not, you just don't have as much time. So just, bring your expectations down a little bit, I'd say, so you don't lose the love for it. Really, just think, oh, well, I've got 5 hours. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm just going to enjoy my time and just concentrate on one piece, or as we say in New Zealand, just muck around. Just gonna just jam and just try to enjoy it a lot more. Those 5 hours, just love the guitar instead of really trying to conquer it or something like that. Hey there, Bao. Actually, I do. But I can't really quite remember. I transcribed it a while ago with the intention of releasing a new bark piece onto the channel, and I transcribed it, like the PDF's all ready to go, but I haven't even practiced in probably a year. I don't even think I've touched it in a year. That's a funny thing. Even though I haven't been active on the channel, I have still been transcribing when I've had the time, always with the intention that I'll come back to the channel. I'll have a lot more new material to release. Art piece was one of those. Oh, sorry, I can't remember. But one I really want to upload? It's this one. Can't even remember. It's been too long, but I love that piece. Sorry. But I'd love to upload those ones. Even this one. time since I played that, but that's a lovely piece. Gavotte in E, I think. Ah, Yezu. Hey, Ray. Oh, my assumption was on. Whew. 18, eh? 18 in life, you got it. 18 in life, you know. For those of the youngsters around, that's a song by Skid Row, 18 in life. Killer guitar solos in that. And my entire situation has changed. Getting a degree in psychology. Ooh. Cool, man. Cool. Which makes the guitar a hobby. Yep, cool, man. You know what? Just love the guitar for what it is, man. When you're stressed out from your study, just jump on the old guitar and, whoo, as I say, let your fingers fly. Just let them fly, man. And as you probably already know, the guitar can be a wonderful way to get rid of stress. Sometimes it brings stress in, especially when you can't get that chord or something like that. But for the most part, it's just a joy. It's a love in it. It can take your mind off, whatever's troubling you actually in life. That's what I find anyway. Oh, Bao, you learned Jesu joy of man's desiring and air on a G string. Man, those pieces are just something else, aren't they? Both of them. Just an absolute joy. I mean, I've got to go back and revise those songs. I can't pieces. I can't just play them off the head, especially because I don't play the guitar much anymore. So it's difficult for me to remember them, but absolutely beautiful. Hey, SC, where are you from, man? Where are you messaging us from? Dude, yeah, see, you're in the military. I can't even, well, I can sort of imagine what that must be like. My dad was a military man. He was in the Borneo confrontation. He did 3 tours in Malaysia back in the early to mid 60s. I still have quite a bit of his gear too that he used when he was out on patrol. So, yeah, he used to tell us some stories, and he had a bit of PTSD for a while. We didn't know what it was back then, but when he was sleeping and we used to wake him up, we had to wake him up by his toes. If we woke him up by shaking his shoulder or anything, he was just, he was into action, man. I don't know what happened to him over there, really, but yeah, we had to be real gentle waking him up. That was pretty scary, especially as a little kid. My father's huge, and yeah, his flying hands will knock a little 5-year-old out the window. So it's good to hear. Thanks for commenting too that the guitar's your therapy. Absolutely. I'd probably hazard at a guess to say everyone that's watching right now, the guitar has been therapeutic to them at one time or another, as it is to me. If I'm stressing out or something, my guitar has been there since I've been playing the guitar, which is over 30 years. I've been playing the guitar for almost 34 years, I think. A long, long, long time. And I'm so glad, that it's part of my life. I would never have thought that the guitar would do for me what it has done for me when I started playing. And it's not just that it's taken me around the world as a professional musician. It's also, when you hit those hard times, and I think some people that don't play music or don't have a creative outlet, I don't know how they deal with those hard times in life that we all inevitably encounter. But I can say for me, when I've been, at some low points and stuff, financially struggling or relationship woes, or just life, sort of getting on top of you, the guitar's like always been there. I could just jump on there and just like, or just play. Sometimes muck around or not play anything in particular. Just let my fingers just run all over the place. And it's just been a great outlet for me. I've been very fortunate to have that in my life. So SC, it's really nice to hear. Yeah, and Ray, man, just keep on jamming, dude. Just keep on jamming. So, Bao, where are you coming in from? Oh, look at that, Bao. I guessed that right, eh? I did guess you were from Vietnam. Awesome. My wife loves Vietnamese noodles, man. Like, she loves them with a vengeance. I think she gets a bit jittery if she doesn't get her fix. SC. Whereabouts are you, SC? Are you in the States, United States? 100% not sure where you'd be without the internet. And like I said, I bet you everyone here can absolutely relate to you 100%. Hey, man, you take care. You take care, dude. You're welcome. I'm glad you can play Capriccio Arabe. It's like one of the king pieces of the repertoire. Hopefully you'll be back in my next live stream. Howdy, Stony Eagle. Just that intro tells me you're from the States, possibly the South. Howdy. Oh, maybe the Midwest. Whereabouts are you from, Stony Eagle? Can I play Nothing Else Matters? It's been a while. Oh, my bad, man. The Netherlands. Sorry, man. So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trust in who we are. And nothing else matters. And I found in you every day for something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Never care for what they do. Never care for what they know. And I know. There you go, man. Netherlands, eh? Oh, we got so many people. You know, I never could have imagined when I started this channel that there would be people from all over the world tuning in. It's just amazing. It just goes to show that the world we live in today. It's it's awesome. Like if you and me, and you know, seeing all these people, amazing people coming in after all the years I've been away. Yeah, it's really heartwarming to see everybody and the nice comments that come on in. Trying Banu Bandari. Where are you from, man? Banu? Oh, India. I used to know some India word. Kya hai? Ab kaisa hai? I remember just learning some from the people from India that I used to work with when I was living in Dubai and that. I was playing in a hotel chain, actually, or I should say I was playing for a hotel chain called the Rami Hotel, and most of the staff were from India, and they used to teach us all sorts of stuff like cold water, tanda pani, and ekto tin punch. It's just a few words I remember. Great food too, man. My missus and I love dal, yeah, and gone prawn curry. I've had too many. If you saw what I weigh on the scales, you'd think, man, lay off the Indian food. Moonlight Sonata. Ooh, isn't that beautiful? That's we're so fortunate as guitarists that there are some transcriptions from other instruments that work on the guitar. Not all of them do. You try to transcribe some stuff to guitar, and it's just, you know what, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. But Moonlight, it does quite well. I can't even remember. Oh, sorry, I'm butchering it. I better stop. Well, thanks for tuning in anyway. What time is it in India? Finland. My goodness gracious me. It's just getting better and better and better. So we've got India in the house, Finland in the house, the United States, the Netherlands. We've had people from Portugal, all kinds of people tuning in. Yeah, thanks for letting me know too, where you're coming from. And let me know what pieces you've learned from my channel, or what pieces you're working on right now, what you love about the guitar, even the type of guitar you're playing. This one's a Takamine Hirare. Good guitar. Needs a bit of work though. It's been thrashed. I think I've played this guitar in about 7 or 8 countries and every night. So it's a workhorse. Oh, Hotel California. You know what? I've got a little story about Hotel California. So I uploaded a tutorial and a playthrough of that, and it was going amazing. I think if YouTube didn't pull it, ban it, I don't know, I could have had probably 20 million views on that by now. It was just going crazy. And I reached out to the licensees. I think it was UPCMG, something like that. And I asked if I could pay the licensing fee so that I could have it on YouTube. And it was going to cost around $2,000 a year. And I said, yeah, I'll pay that. And they didn't want it. And so they banned my video, Hotel California YouTube videos worldwide. Yeah, that was pretty heartbreaking. And I couldn't, and I was like, why don't you want my money? But, you know, the Eagles, in case you don't know, are extremely protective of infringements on their IP, which is intellectual property. And yeah, they were fully in their rights. Did it hurt? Yes, it did. Did I try to do it the right way? Yes, I did. And still to this day, I don't know why they wouldn't accept my $2,000 and give me a license. But no, this is the world. This is where we live in, and it is their music. So, can I play Hotel California? Yes, I can. If I do, there's a good chance this video will get a copyright strike. Man, but I cannot risk it. Precious in it. If I just even, I'm sure that the algorithm or something would recognize it straight away, and I'll get a copyright strike, and then I won't be able to go live anymore. I'm not exactly sure, but from my previous experience with the license holders of any of the Eagles music, Yeah, if you play anything, even does anybody here subscribe to Rick Beato? If you're right into music and you love guitar in general, you should subscribe to Rick Beato. He complains every now and again about the same thing. Not just the Eagles, but other bands that just copyright strike what he does. And yeah, he's incredible, really. But at the end of the day, they own the rights, not me, not Rick Beato, not other people that complain about it. And so we have to follow the rules. Yeah, pretty plain and simple. Sad sometimes, but it does belong to them. So I wish I could play it for you. I'd love to because I love that solo and yeah, I'd say I probably did one of the best versions ever for acoustic guitar, playing that solo acoustically. I watched acoustician's version and it's mean, it's real good, but it just didn't quite have it all. And because I was a professional guitarist for a while, I may have a better ear than him, and mine was, I would say, 100% accurate, the way that you could play it on an acoustic anyway. But anyway, it's beside the point. It's not a competition. What do you mean, Stony Eagle? You love your offspring? Paranoid Android? Man, I don't know. Is that a classical guitar thing or is that a classical guitar piece? Secret Garden. That's one of my wife's favorite movies. You know what? Actually, I started transcribing one of the pieces from. Oh, I'm gonna see if I can bring it up. I can't even remember what it was called. Just give me a moment, people. Oh, Winter Light, isn't it? So I'm just opening up Guitar Pro 7. So if my eyes look a little bit weird, it's just because I'm opening up this thing. Yeah, Winter Light. So what have I got here? Oh, sorry. Got to tune it down to G. That's why it sounded a bit strange. So do you recognize it so far? I'm just reading my transcription. I'm butchering this. Oh, thanks, Stony, man. Yeah, I put a lot of work into that November Rain cover. a lot of work, not just learning it, but the video production and everything. Filmed that in Africa. Yeah, it's been my most popular video to date. Nearly 5 million views, I think, on that one. Yeah, so I don't know how to say your name, man. Anthe, is it Vietnamese? Oh, up. Married Life. That's the piece you're thinking of. Oh, that's, I haven't played those pieces in so long. Yeah, but that Secret Garden song, Winterlight, with Sarah Brightman singing it. Ooh, beautiful. The all of the music from the Secret Garden movie is it's beautiful. I read about the composer, and apparently he likes writing in an old style. Hence the reason that music sounds the way it does. Yeah, I think whoever chose him as the composer was on point. He just really captured the essence of what a secret garden and what children struggling away with parents, absent parents, or an absent parent go through, and what they do to make up for their parents not being around. Irfan Sanjaya, man, I just can tell from your name that you're probably from Indonesia. No, maybe Bali. If you are, what's the time? Selamat siang. It's 3. So in Indo, must be early morning. Selamat malam. Yeah, so that Winterlight. I think I transcribed that over a year ago. I haven't even thought about it since you just brought it up. Yeah, Married Life. Ooh, where's my transcription for that? Oh, I've got so many transcriptions, and they're kind of Married Life. There we go. Haven't played this since I uploaded it to the channel. So that's Married Life was one of the first videos that I uploaded, actually, and that was when I was living in China, in Shenzhen. Sorry, people, sorry. I'll just try a little bit more. I don't want to kill you guys. Oh, oh, yeah, that's all. Funny. Oh, I'm back to YouTube, and everyone would have left after that performance. Yeah, this is a pretty good guitar, man. Obviously, it's not a Smallman or a Ramirez or something like that, but it gets the job done. Yeah, no, I think I've got a good mic as well. Pretty mic on the computer, so it sounds nice. Of course, there's a lot in your fingers as well. You know, a lot of tone comes from your fingers, especially on classical guitar. So yeah, Irfan, dari Indonesia, Pak. Dari Bali atau Jawa? Oh, Moonlight Sonata. Ah, you guys are killing me. Moonlight Sonata. Ooh. I wish I had some type of scrolling thing, you know? Okay, so I'm gonna give it a crack. If I, as I said, if I look strange, it's because I'm reading. Uh, ugh. What? Sorry. Oh, oh. Woo-hoo-hoo. That was tricky. So how's everybody doing? Hope you're all well out there. Ooh, someone from Czech 008. Are you from Brazil? The Western from November Rain. What's that, Stony Eagle? What do you mean, bro? The Western from November Rain. I'm not quite sure. It's a tough song. Bring it on. Bring it on. Hector Villa-Lobos. Oh, my guitar teacher at university made me play heaps of his songs. Oh, pieces. And what else? You guys know that one? It's one of Villa-Lobos's famous pieces. How does it go after that? There you go. That was some Villa-Lobos for Check 008. Yeah, awesome. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. American Patriot for life. I love it. Texas. Good old Texas, eh? Awesome. How's life in Texas? Is it all good? Is everybody still taller than 6 feet? Oh, you're welcome, Michael. I'm sorry. I couldn't do a better job, man. It's yeah, a lot of these pieces that I've uploaded, I just don't play them. I'm either looking at new stuff or yeah, I've just sort of put it out of my mind, been there, done that type of thing. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, man. Glad to hear that life in Texas is great. Must be warming up. Texas had a pretty severe snowstorm last year, didn't they? Mind you, Texas is pretty big. It was probably only over a tiny part of it. Oh, check. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying, man. Joao Maria. I don't know. Is that a Villa-Lobos piece? Yeah, I know. Yeah, like I was right into Villa-Lobos for a while. I had to be because of my guitar teacher. What's some other? If you see me coming close to the camera, I'm just trying to read the comments, read the chat, I should say. Oh, lithium, Alphen lead. Oh, and that's going back. Alphen lead. Whoa. I'll try. I'll give it a blast a little bit later. Oh, Pod Issel. Where are you from, Pod? American patriot for life, man. You know, I don't know what stage you're at in life, but just keep giving it a blast. You just keep trying. You know, that's you just put that goal in front of you and just go for it. You're from Texas, man. You can do it. What's that Texas saying? If everything's bigger in Texas, so you know, just get that big dream out there, man. Put in a big effort. Stony Eagle, eh? Challenging me. We call that a whittle in Māori language. A challenge is a whittle. Got the whittle, eh? Pod ESL, prelude number 1. It was with me that I started to learn this. Oh, man, you know what? You're welcome. Anyone that's learned anything from me, that's cool. Yeah, I like teaching. I like sharing what I know. It's not, I just do what I can, really. Oh, you're from Brazil. Oh, the homeland of Villa-Lobos. Wow, so cool. It's awesome to have someone from Brazil here. Alphen lead, eh? Well, I'm never one to shirk a challenge. Just let me see if I can find that. Alphen lead. Whoa, man. I'm just looking through my transcriptions, people. Sorry, everyone. I'm just looking for a piece that I did called Elfin Lead. I'm looking for my transcription of it. Goodness gracious me. Where is it? I can't believe it's not here. Well, Stony Eagle, I think you've won this round. There's no way I could even begin to play that without my transcription. Unbelievable. That's absolutely disappeared from my... Well, I do apologize, everyone. I can't keep looking for it. Yeah, maybe I'll find it somewhere else. Round 1, Stony Eagle. Hey, stop digging through my archive, man. You'll pull up stuff and make me look bad when I try to play it. If you want to get sheet music from my tutorials, just head to my website. Everything's over there. It's nbnguitar.com. Yeah, you're a laugh, man. Yeah. Good one, Stony Eagle. You're cracking me up. Ranjit Singh. Oh, from Punjab, India. Welcome. As I said to another dude from India earlier, ab kaise hai, kya hal hai? Yeah, man, Elfin Lead. I don't even know where that transcription is, and it's not like me to lose a transcription. Yeah, very strange indeed. Trust you to find the one transcription that I don't have. You'll probably find another one that I don't have. Life is good. This is what happens when you go live, people. So what guitars has everybody got? No, Stony Eagle, it's definitely not a challenge. You seem like the type of guy that shouldn't be challenged, because no doubt you'll go back through my archives and unearth a number of other things that I don't have. So who's everyone's favorite guitarist out there? Favorite classical guitarists? why is that Stone Eagle? Oh, Talega. Yeah, of course. Oh, I'm too young to play that. Oh, yeah. Crossroads. Ooh, the classic. They call me Willie. Blind Dog Fulton. Smokehouse Brown. They call me Willie, the one and only Willie Brown. Yeah, well, I'm built for comfort, I'm built for speed. I got everything you good girls need. See me come and throw your man outdoors, cause I ain't gonna come this way no more. Call me Willie, the one and only Willie Brown. Yeah, well, I'm built for comfort, I'm built for speed. I got everything you good girls need. See me come and throw your man outdoors, cause I ain't gonna come this way no more. Call me Willie, the one and only Willie Brown. Yeah, they call me Willie, call me Willie, call me Willie. Blind Dog Fulton, Smokehouse Brown. They call me Willie, the one and only Willie Brown. That's from Crossroads. Yeah, I'm not sure which riff you're referring to exactly. So many. Eugene's Trick Bag and I don't know. Oh, are you thinking Rondo alla Turca? Is that the one you're thinking of? The one that he plays when he gets grilled by the associate professor in the conservatorium. Ah. Something like that. That was it, right? Oh, there's so much great music in that. Ry Cooder, Steve Vai, William Cannon Geiser. I think William Cannon Geiser did the classical parts. This part. Ah. I can't quite remember. The part from the Jewel was Steve Vai. Oh, that's something like. Oh no, it starts off. Something like that, isn't it? Is that the one? Something like that. Oh, Stony Eagle never learned to read notes, eh? Nah, don't even worry about it, man. I know heaps dudes, they can't read music and they're professional musicians. Actually, when I was out on the road with my bandmates cruising the world, a lot of them couldn't read music. Not one singer that I performed with could read music. Only my wife. Yeah. And I played with a lot of singers, and most of them just can't read music at all. And there's a lot of great guitarists and musicians of all that play all kinds of instruments, and they don't read music. So I think it depends. If you want to play classical music, then yeah, you should probably learn to read music. Unless you come across a teacher like me that doesn't really care, and then I'll just teach you, even if you can't play, even if you can't read music. That's the whole point of my videos, really, for people that can't read music. Oh, talent show next month, eh, Mr. Texas? Oh, I assume you're a guy. I shouldn't be so presumptuous. Oh, Eugene's trick bag in a talent show. What's your guitar? What guitar are you using? What effects have you got? That sounds exciting, man. All the best. Yeah, cool. Eugene's trick bag. Actually, Crossroads, one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know how many times I've seen that. Ooh, a PRS. Very nice. Do you recognize this bad boy? Boss ME80. I love Boss pedals. Love them. I've got a Boss BCB 60 on the floor behind me, full of Boss pedals. The ME80, that's like an all-in-one multi-effects unit. So what's your PRS, man? This one's a John Mayer Silver Sky. It's a wicked guitar. Built your own guitar? Ah, that's cool. Amazing, man. Amazing. Does it have the PRS style headstock? You know, that classic cutaway headstock that they all have. What's your pickup configuration? HSH or just H. Everyone here that's watching right now, you need to wish American Patriot for Life luck for his talent show next month. Now, I've never really tried to learn that properly. Yeah, good one, Stony Eagle. That's cool. Anyway, that's enough of the old PRS. Well, people, I've been live for nearly 3 hours now. I think I'm going to call it a day, or I'm going to call it the live stream and have a rest. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in and staying around for so long. And whatever you're doing, wherever you are in the world, keep yourself safe. Play a lot of guitar if you can. Yeah, and tune in. I can guarantee you I'm going to be a lot more active on the channel now. I may not be uploading tutorials like I used to for a little while until I get a bit more free time. But know that I will be a lot more active. And I think I'm going to try to make the live streams weekly. Yeah, so spread the word, and make sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram so that you can keep abreast of the next time I go live. So wherever you are in the world, be it India, Texas, the Netherlands, Brazil, have a good one and keep playing the guitar. Thanks again, everybody. Let your fingers fly.